channel. If you're new here, I'm Sue of Bendnstretch with Sue. In today's video, I'm taking you through that journey through the chakras, continuing on, and today we are moving on to the fifth of the 7 chakras. This one is the throat chakra, and it's actually the first of what is considered to be the higher chakras. Last week we covered the heart chakra, which is the gateway between those physical lower vibration chakras and the higher vibration chakras. This one is represented by the color blue. It's located right at the throat. It's also known as the VISHUDDHA Chakra, and it also has the sound element, of course, associated with it, and its visual symbol is the lotus flower, but this one has 16 petals with a circle that holds an inverted triangle, which is again inscribed with another circle. It has several amazing essential oils, Bergamot being one of them, Peppermint, as well as Eucalyptus, and I'll list the rest of them in the description box down below so that they can be very useful in helping to balance this chakra, any of them, with the associated essential oils, just by diffusing them or maybe applying them on your body with right on the pulse points to kind of be fragrant to you throughout your day, so that it can help to re-energize and balance off your chakra. The crystals associated with them are turquoise as well as aquamarine, and again I'll list the full list of them down below in the description as well. So continuing on with, what is this chakra all about? As I mentioned previously, the earth element that is associated with this chakra is sound. And of course, coming from the throat is where we emit sound. And I mean, there's theories going back to Darwin about how sound is, or was once upon a time, our means of expressing our emotion. And whether that was fear or joy, but that goes right back to utilizing our limbic brain. Now, it is true that communication is all about expressing what we are either requiring to fulfill those lower chakras, as well as communicating what we feel within our heart chakra, and how we represent what our needs are and what we have to give to the world. So communication is what this one is all about. So what happens when there's a breakdown in the communication, and quite often how this is represented physically through imbalances as well as the chakra being in balance. When your throat chakra is in balance, however, you will be able to communicate in a manner that's much more fluid, much more comfortable. You will also be able to project outwardly through your communication what's going on the inside. And that, whether that is your creativity and how you're better able to serve the world with whatever you have to offer, you're now able to speak your truth rather than withholding it because you're in balance, as well as being able to much more easily listen to others, which will enhance your communication, because communication is a two-way street, and you need to be able to listen to others, to your loved ones, and to those around you, and to those whom you serve, in order to be able to really develop and maintain that deep connection with others. So important in helping you to move up that ladder of the chakras, that spiritual connection with others as well, and to really be true to yourself. I hope that makes sense for you. But from here to move on to balancing the chakras, again, we will be moving through the two different poses, the yang, which is a more active, as well as the yin, which has held for a longer period of time. By being there for a longer period of time, you're able to spend more time with the affirmations that are represented through the chakra, as well as really being able to visualize the color and perhaps even take in, if you're diffusing oils that relate to your chakra, you're able to take them in and really breathe that in to really help to balance the entire rung of this one on the ladder of chakras. So let's get started with the first pose, our yang pose. All right, as we move on to our first pose, the yang pose, you don't really need any props. We're going to be on the hands and knees, unless you want to have some cushioning for your knees to make it more comfortable. We're not there a huge amount of time, but still you do want to be comfortable while you're here. And what we're going to move into from our table is a cat-cow, and we're going to reverse our breathing pattern so that we can incorporate the lion's breath on the exhale. And that one is done by breathing out and opening the mouth, sticking out the tongue to allow the breath to really glide over our throat chakra. And it also creates a sound which is very important in activating and balancing the throat chakra. So as we come onto all fours, bringing the knees right underneath the hips and the wrists underneath the shoulders. You do want to open up the hands to make them nice and wide. If you have discomfort by doing that, you could also make fists with the hands so that the wrists are perfectly stacked and aligned underneath your shoulders. So that's another option, provided that's comfortable enough for your knuckles. But we want to create a nice long spine here, keeping it nice and neutral. And as we take our first inhale, we tuck the tail and look toward the knees or the navel, breathing in here, and then articulating through the spine to exhale. Breathing in again through the nose, rounding through the back, and starting from the tailbone as we articulate through the entire spine. So when we breathe out, we are taking the gaze upward and we are sliding the shoulders away from the ears to create a nice long neck, opening the throat. So let's do two more here. One more time. And from here, bring it back, and we get ready to move on to our yin pose. Now as we move on to our yin pose, we're going to be coming into plow pose today. Now I did do a video recently, and which I'll link down below, on how to do a plow pose, and it was combined with a shoulder stand with some different options. So I'm not going to spend too much time explaining the how-to today, just mentioning that there are options. You could have a chair to place your feet over, you could have a bolster, which I have here, or you could even have a couple of yoga blocks. If you have difficulty bringing your feet over your head and placing them on the floor, resting them at a higher level can be a good kind of in-between way of getting to that position. Now, I will not be able to talk too much once I'm there, because what we're doing in this one is creating some compression over the throat chakra. And in doing that, it helps to really stimulate that area. While you're there, you can breathe perhaps in using the victorious breath or the Ujjayi breath, which glides very audibly over the throat to further help to stimulate the chakra. Now, some of the affirmations that you can either visually see in your mind as you perhaps continue to visualize that blue disc of energy spinning through your throat. You can also pace yourself with the combination of breath and affirmation, such as I am an important voice in the world and I am heard. My voice is heard is a wonderful affirmation to use, as well as I'm expressing myself with clear intent is another one. I love to share my experiences and wisdom, and I love listening to others as well. Remember, communication, it's a two-way street. So let's move right into that pose as we carefully bring ourselves into a neutral supine position. We bring the legs up over the hips and ensuring that the arms are nice and strong at your sides, the cervical spine is neutral. We press into the hands and those pressure points on your mat to help you to lift the legs and hips, bring them up and over, and adjusting the feet. So either keeping the toes tucked or just flattening out the tops of feet as we remain here, focusing on those affirmations, focusing on your blue disc of energy at the throat, or your breath focus. Remaining in stillness as much as possible. Beginning to make your way back by slowly unrolling the spine. And from here you can bring the knees in and take a moment to squeeze, to hug the legs into your body. Taking hands to kneecaps, making some nice smooth rotations here. And eventually, rolling through your side. Taking your time to press yourself up and come on up to a seated position. So do be sure to take a moment as you arrive here just to check in with the throat chakra. See how you feel. You may even feel that physically there's some release through the throat that helps to clear the throat, really helping to open up the channel of communication, the channel of expression. So I hope you liked it, and do be sure to give me one of these if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that bell so you know when I upload new content. You can check it out and check me out in the next video. Namaste.